I'm Laura Holmes, I'm a painter and we're in my studio in Woolwich. There's not really one thing that influences the way that I paint, and I realised that I don't have the attention span to focus on anything as long as it takes for me to make a painting. So I've ended up making work about painting itself. It's become quite ontological, it's become a bit of a philosophy, and it's the only thing that I have enough interest to perpetuate a continuous practice with. At the moment, I'm trying to notice things in my external surroundings outside of the studio that evoke some kind of reaction that is similar to the way that painting feels or painting makes someone feel. I notice repeatedly that I'm coming back to certain things and I don't quite know why until I then go back and analyse it. So a lot of my practice is really analytical. I'm always thinking about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. So all of these things that I'm interested in, I take photos of, I physically go and pick them up, and I have them all around me in the studio, so that then when I'm constructing a painting, it almost feels like I'm pushing and pulling everything in and out in a way that it feels quite sculptural. I approach painting in quite a sculptural way, and I want to get to a point where painting has the qualities of some of the experiences that I think painting could be, and going kind of backwards and forwards so much that they become one thing. It's quite kind of continuous and it's quite perpetual. I'm always working on more than one thing at a time, and because the way that I work in layers and quite translucent layers, I'm always pulling paint back off the canvas and putting it back on. It takes quite a lot of time to dry between those layers, and I have to wait for the layers to settle before I can then go again. So I have to work on different things. I'm really interested in drawing at the moment. Drawing has become quite crucial to the way that I'm painting. It's a way of recording, it's a way of observing, and it's a way of taking away some of the kind of decision making in painting, rather than having a blank canvas and then having to it feel quite strenuous when I'm painting. So drawing's really important to me. Decisions about colour are made fairly close to the beginning of the painting. I normally start with an idea of what colour I want it to be, but to get to that colour it has to go through so many different layers. I'm really interested in kind of getting a vibrancy of colour at the moment, and to build it up like you would maybe with a screen print. But I used to always pick a colour, and the painting, I like the kind of idea of having a wash of colour. Painting has its own colour. At the moment, it's been more influenced by things that I have been seeing. I saw the Northern Lights and now I've started to make purple and green paintings. Some of it's quite intuitive, sometimes it's a decision that I've actively made, but often the colours that the painting ends up as is not the colour it started with. I could start making a completely blue painting and turn it into a red one by the end of it. So I never quite know, because I never have complete control over the decision making, but it depends. Depends on the painting, depends where I'm working and how I feel. I don't like to put myself in the box of abstract or expressionism or anything like that. It doesn't matter what the painting looks like to me, because I think painting should be enough as a descriptor. I don't like some of the language that gets used around abstraction. I don't think that it relates to the way that I work, even if it does relate to the kind of aesthetic of what I'm making. So I don't tend to go for kind of the way that I'm feeling comes out on the canvas. It's a little bit cliche. I've got into this routine where I'm working in the evenings, because painting now kind of has to be the last thing that I do in the day, so I've not got the distraction of like anything going on outside, or it's quieter at night time. There's less distraction, less going on. And I've been trying to create a space in my studio where I can solely focus on painting. I have a phrase about pushing painting off of a cliff, and if I can make a decision that really ruins it on purpose that I then have to try and fix, that's the bit that I'm really interested in doing. So a lot of the time I will kind of sabotage my own paintings in a way that I know that it isn't going to be a desirable outcome. I paint with the mindset that I'm making a sculpture. The paintings are constructed, they are kind of built, they're not just made on a surface. So I like the versatility of painting, that it can absorb different ways of working. You can make paintings that have the kind of atmosphere of moving image. When you are holding a paintbrush to a canvas, or when you are kind of trying to scrape paint away, there's an immediacy and kind of a tension between yourself and the canvas, where there's an infinite number of possibilities within that tension, and it's the decision making and adrenaline that draws me to painting more than anything else.